right, who wants to get started? Questions? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Julia Johnson with Spectrum News, South Carolina. Can you talk to me a little bit about what you've heard from South Carolinians about the effect of some of the tariffs? Are they helping economies? Are they hurting businesses? How do they feel about it?
Every business owner that I've talked to about Trump's tariffs support the president and his tariffs. Even if there's some temporary pain, they know that long term it's going to be great for the economy. And we just saw in the second quarter of this year, in Donald Trump's 6th month of his presidency, we saw the economy grow at 2.9%. And so it's working, and he's even talking about possibly giving rebates to taxpayers. So he's got a plan. You saw the EU deal that he did was the largest deal done in American history, so he's doing a great job on it. Yes, sir.
With the news coming out of Texas about redistricting, would you support kind of South Carolina looking at redrawing their congressional district line?
Well, there's already a lawsuit for the 1st congressional district. Democrats for years, for decades, have been weaponizing the court system to draw lines to their favor. So I support Governor Abbott and the Texas legislature to do what's fair and what's right. And even for decades now, Democrats want to include illegal aliens in the census count. So when we're doing apportionment for congressional seats, that they're favored for Democrats. That's wrong. I think that's unethical. I think that's undemocratic. It's a threat to democracy, and we have to put a stop to it. That's what Americans want. That's what the Trump mandate was about. I would arrest the Texas legislature.
Would you support a mid-decade redraw here in the state of South Carolina like your...
I think our lines are good. We did a great job. The state, Congress doesn't do anything with drawing the lines. We don't have any legal authority, all right? It's done by the state legislature, the judiciary specifically. But the lines were drawn. There is now the second lawsuit that will probably go to the Supreme Court over one congressional district because Democrats are mad that Republicans keep winning a purple seat in Charleston. But I made it more conservative. It's now an R+18, and they can't do anything about that. So.
Ralph Norman saying, agree with Ralph Norman saying that he thinks that Republicans should do a mid-decade redraw to basically draw Jim Clyburn out.
Well, constitutionally, there has to be a seat for a Democrat in a black, census for Jim Clyburn for a Democrat seat. So that's constitutionally civil rights that exists. It's always going to be a Democrat seat.
What do you?
I will as soon as I hit that microphone. I have a lot to say about what the Attorney General did today and the BS. The Attorney General is afraid to fight crime. He won't prosecute murder. He won't prosecute rape. He won't prosecute human trafficking. He won't prosecute pedophiles. So I'll have a lot to say about that when I hit the microphone.
Congresswoman, Joe Wilson had some tough words for you. His son is obviously in the race.
You know, it's a bad day when you have to call your daddy and ask him to defend you and attack a female opponent in the press, and that's what he did. Alan Wilson isn't a man enough to come after me, so he had his dad do it, and that's not the real sign of a man. That's a guy who's hiding behind his family name and who is a pedophile protector and won't do a damn thing to implement Donald Trump's agenda here in South Carolina because he's full of it and he lies to South Carolinians. And in fact, on Monday when Alan Wilson called me a liar, he tainted a future jury pool of which I am a material witness and key witness to serious crimes that are being investigated. So as a chief law enforcement officer, he might want to read the state constitution, our state laws, and support law enforcement when they are doing investigations, not tamper with witnesses like myself, and not tamper with women who are, and any victim who's looking for justice. That's what he's done. And I can't wait to hit the debate stage with him because I'm going to run circles around Alan Wilson. You can tell him I said that.
Congresswoman, what is the biggest issue you feel like South Carolina is facing? How would you address it if you're...
Number one, it's law and order. We have pedophiles, more pedophiles out on the streets of South Carolina than we have in jail. We have murders that aren't being prosecuted. And it's not just, it's all across the state. We have solicitors that won't prosecute serious crimes. And then we have lawyers that fund the campaigns for the solicitors. So it's this huge corrupt system that's simply pay to play. The second thing is we have to look at our economy. We can't compete with Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida because our state income tax is so high. On Monday, I unveiled a plan to get us to 0% state income tax over 5 years. I call it 5 years to zero. and our education system. For years we've been talking about school choice, and we're about 25th percentile in the country, ranked about halfway in terms of what we spend per student annually on education, but we're last in outcomes. And in fact, we're behind Mississippi. And so I have an education plan that I unveiled on Monday, which Alan Wilson copied and pasted and put on Facebook Monday afternoon after I unveiled my education policy. Two things: kids that can't read and write, automatic mandate, you stay in third grade. You get a reading mentor, you're required to read 90 minutes a day. I want to have 2 tracks for our high school diplomas, one for those who are going to go on to get educated in college with a 2 or 4 year degree, and then I want a second special track for those who are not going to college. I want you certified on day 1 to have a high-paying, high-skilled job: welding, plumbing, electrician, a CDL, your commercial driver's license. These kids coming out of high school at 18 can make 80 grand to 100 grand a year if they're certified in a trade, and I don't want to give those jobs away to people from out of state.
Does the first woman governor in South Carolina support your bids to become the second?
Well, no, we know that she's endorsed another candidate in this race, so you know that as of a week ago.
Just that.
Yeah. Do you have any more questions?
Sure I do.
Well, what do you have? What other questions do you have?
Well,
What else do you want to ask?
I'll ask you in a minute.
Okay. Who's next? Okay, we have 2 more questions.
We've seen a couple things around South Carolina in terms of infrastructure, some bridges having significant, breaking, collapsing, having to be fixed.
We have some of the worst roads in the country, particularly in rural areas.
And so, does some of that infrastructure need to be revamped? Is that something that you would do?
I would like to audit the SCDOT and find out where that money has gone. We've gotten significant resources from the feds, but also where our state resources going. Secondly, I want voters to know that I've had tremendous success over the last 4.5 years in Congress getting federal resources for infrastructure. In fact, I assisted in getting the largest infrastructure grant in the history of South Carolina, $195 million for Long Point Road or the South Carolina Ports Authority. We helped do that. I've been tremendous in getting federal resources for bridges, for other roads projects, flooding, stormwater, you name it. What the press won't cover, they want to cover my memes or my pajamas, but they won't tell you all of the work that we've done from a resources standpoint: authorizations, appropriations, grant funding, and also I am ranked at 1.5, I'm in the top 1.59%, less than 2% of lawmakers on the Hill in Congress. I'm one of the top lawmakers who draft bills. I draft about 2 to 3 bills a week, so we're very effective, we're very policy driven, and I can't wait to take that same energy to the governor's office. So thank you. 5 minutes to set up for the podium, and we'll be good.